Hello, thank you for joining me for another shave. Today's shave is going to be my Lather Catcher Sunday shave for July. And for the razor I'm going to use today, I'm going to use that Gem Junior bar. This is about a 1907-ish. These are kind of hard to date. This is the first gen of the Gem Junior bars. This one's got the wooden handles. There was Gem Junior, and then there was Gem Junior bar. You can see the difference. The Gem Junior was not as ornately stamped on the back, and this has the handle with a stropper. This one's a little later, and then I have one that has the cheaper handle. That's the tube that just slides up in there. That one, that's my first, that's my first Gem Junior, and I think that one's from the same era as this. And there's also one after this, or around the same time, that has a white cellulose handle, like imitation ivory. Very rare. And it's you find these on eBay and other places for good prices. You just got to really shop around and be patient. Now, this bar, why they call it the Gem Junior bar, this bar was meant for wedge blades. It has nothing to do with anything else. And in fact, I have a wedge blade here. I'll show you what it does. And I also have some of the vintage blades that, would have originally been used with this. What I'm going to be using for a blade today is a modern Gem Blue Star blade. And I'm going to take one. Actually, I'll show you what the bar is for first. It's a little warm here today. That's why you see me sweating. We are having some really high humidity. I was going to do a head shave, but I don't feel like doing it. Not now. But here is a wedge blade. These were the ones. This is a Campy Brothers wedge blade. Think of it as a section of a straight razor. And there's a bar. And what you do is you put the bar down and you would slide the blade and make sure it's on the stops. And then, yeah, you could use the old wedge blade. That bar is to give the correct tension on the wedge blade so it doesn't come off the stops. That's what that's for. To put an end to that, I see all kinds of people say, oh, well, it's meant to give the angle. It has nothing to do with that. And that's the other thing I'm going to address. A lot of people think the Eveready 1914 is a lather catcher. Its nickname is the little lather catcher. It's not. A lather catcher has to have an open top with the latch on the top. Eveready's, Stars. That's the other thing. There's a Star version of this. It's a Star bar. The only difference is the handle. It's got like a Campy Brothers Star razor at the time, and instead of a G in the center, it's got a star. So, yeah. I'll load up this Eveready radio steel blade. You can see there's no cutouts on it, whereas our modern blades, they do. They have cutouts on the sides and the middle. That was the Gem Micromatic. All right, now that I've explained that, I'll load a blade up here just to show you guys how I do it. Some people do it differently. This is how I do it. Is I take the blade, like I just showed you loading that wedge blade. I do the same thing with a modern stainless or carbon blade. So that's it. It's loaded up, blade on the stops. That's good to go. Brush today. I'm going to use my vintage German Badger brush. I haven't used it in a while. Also, another thing I haven't used in a while is Williams mug soap. So I'm going to use that. I got Dickinson's Witch Hazel for the post shave. And because it's hot, and plus I'm using Williams, I'm going to use the Aqua Velva Classic Ice Blue. It's got menthol in it. Good stuff. All right, let's get a lather going. Also, before I begin, thank you we've reached 400 on the channel. Awesome. I'm going to, like I said in my last video, I'm going to wait to do giveaways a little farther apart. I'm not doing them every 100. And it's not because I don't want to do them. It's just how things are. Does 25 bucks really go that far nowadays when you're trying to order shaving stuff online? It doesn't. So I'm going to wait, do bigger giveaways at bigger numbers. My Williams puck's getting kind of thin. I've got one more cake of it. This is the newer Williams. I've got 3 days on the face, 2 or 3 days. Nothing special. And another thing I want to say, this is a very medium to mild lather catcher. Everybody, you know, they see them and they say, oh, they're worried about the aggressiveness. Well, all of them aren't aggressive. There are some that are more aggressive than others. The thing is with these lather catchers is you have to have good technique. You really do. If you go in, there's no cap to follow, so you have to hold the angle, which is no big deal. You just, you know, get used to it, as you'll see in the shave here. And I'm also testing these Gem Blue Star blades to make sure I got a good run of them. I don't know if they're Accutech. I've actually heard some not so good thing about the Accutech blades from people, the coated ones. I haven't tried any other than the carbon steel that I used to get at CVS, and they were really good. The Gem Blue Stars, I have a bad track record with them. I got 5 things of them that were no good. All they were good for was scraping paint and that kind of stuff. Even though they were honed for shaving, they rusted. I don't know if it was at the store or whatever. So get a lather going. And I've got a lot of water in this brush, and I'm gripping on it because this is my floppiest brush I own. I can't stand it. That's why I don't use it that much. I don't like a very stiff brush. I have boar brushes, Everetti's, small ones that are vintage, that aren't broken, that are so stiff. They're horrible. But this one's just too floppy for me. Hope you guys have been well. I've been good. Haven't gotten rid of any razors yet. I have been doing cleaning though, and I've been to some antique shops, getting rid of stuff. I've had some bad experience lately with some of these antique shops with selling stuff. Buying, oh yeah, you know, but selling, and not razors. I'm not trying to sell razors at antique shops. Mainly watches and some other things. Just antiques laying around. Alright. It's good enough. It's not paste. Rinse my hand. Now this handle is, I like these wooden handles on these lather catchers. You'd think for being well over, this one's what, 100, what's it, 104? Yeah, it's well over 100, 10 years old. But how they are made, they're nice. You know, you have control. So, and lather catcher, all the pass is supposed to go on these. These were designed before running water. And if you're interested in how these are made, this is nickel-plated brass from a different era. This razor, yes, I got it for, what, 30 bucks? But if you had to have this made nowadays, whew, it'd be expensive. And that brings me to another point. Somebody needs to make a reproduction of the lather catcher. All right, angle is right about there where you see me going. This is nice, medium mild. This is my favorite head shaver of all my head shaving razors, even the, you know, the leaf and all them. And if you're worried about trying if you want to get into gem razors and you want to get a lather catcher, this would be a good choice. Try to find one of these. I got my first one, I think 30 bucks. Just be patient. You might have to get a lot of razors and make sure everything's good with it, you know. Study the pictures good. Go watch my video on buying on eBay. Yes, gem blades are more expensive, but with the stainless blades, I've got one that's almost at 40 shaves. I take it out once in a while to see if it's still good, and it still is. Now, under the nose can be hard because of the latch, and Jem said go sideways under the nose in the literature. And lather catchers go from 1880, the prototype there, like the one I've got, to 1914, 1917, somewhere in there. That's where they go to, somewhere in there. So, all right, let me get another pass going. Put a little water to this brush. You know, I'm going to have to hit the puck. I let this thing soak for a while, too. Another reason why I like synthetics. I really do. I don't know how horse or any of the other, or a badger boar mix is, but I predominantly like synthetic and boar. I haven't tried any other types. There we go. Man, am I sweating, guys. You guys in South Ireland, you know, it's probably in the 80s with very high humidity here, but I ain't used to it. All right. Side grain. And against for me, because my growth goes at a V down here. And that's my number one piece of advice for new shavers out there is map your growth. What's against the grain. Even if you cartridge shave, you should know which way your growth goes. Ah, I got a weeper. Let me get rid of that. Must have a blemish there. Yep, took the top off a pimple. Blade seems okay. And carbon steel off the bat is smoother than stainless. It just, you're not going to get as many shaves out of it. Man, is it warm in this bathroom? Wow. I got the AC going in my room, but there's no AC here in the bathroom. The old bathroom where I used to do my shaves, there is. This is a laundry room slash bathroom. In fact, over that way, there's washing machine and dryer. That's why I haven't done a tour of the den. I've got a little bookcase right here where you see me do my thumbnails on, and I've got a square slop sink that's deep, and that's what and I've got the mirror, and I've got a cheap suction mount on it. That's it. And the window's right next to me, so I think it was Jim said do a tour of the den. Well, there's nothing much to show. So I will show my collection though. I won't get into that. Against the grain. There is a toggle on eBay right now for 300 bucks. I don't know if it's gone. I haven't checked yet this morning. I had to go do errands and I haven't been on eBay yet, but it's sitting at $300. I do have the spare funds for it. Been sitting on them for, you know, I've had money set aside for a toggle for a while, but the pictures, I don't know. And at 300 plus 6% sales tax and shipping, I don't know. One side of the guard seat's bent. Yeah, that was a... And I think this batch of blades is not good, guys. I got them from Hannaford's, which is a big grocery chain store. I think they're in the same conglomerate as Stop and Shop, so... Alright, I'm going to call that good without shave right there. And I'll do a little bit right here. Here, I'm nice and clean, but right here, I'm not. Yeah, so. There we go. And even with slick hands, this handle is good. It's just painted black. All right. Closeness, 9.5 out of 10. I grab a washcloth and rinse off. I'll get the septic out. I opened up another one. I should have returned the other one because it was broke. I didn't notice it in the package when I got it. And those Clubman Septic pencils, they're a good deal for $2. You can get one. I get mine at Price Chopper, which is a grocery store chain. I've seen Walgreens starting to carry them, which they should anyways. So here's the jumbo. You can get a smaller one. It's cheaper. It's just not going to last you as long. And what you do, you take it. You take cold water. Take cold water, and that's not even really stinging that much. And you go over until the bleeding stops. It also works for cuts on your fingers and all that kind of stuff. And I've been told it's concentrated alum. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Do I got any more? I'm not feeling any stinging, so let me get the cover on that. I'll rinse it off. And it's got a hole in the bottom. I leave it to drain on the windowsill and dry out. And then wash it off just like alum. Alright. Dickinson's Witch Hazel. Let me dry off because I'm sweating pretty bad. Alright. Dickinson's Witch Hazel. That's another thing I recommend for you beginners is witch hazel. It doesn't have to be Dickinson's. I just use it because my grandmother, who passed away last year, she used to work for the Dickinson's company when they were in Essex, Connecticut. And she's the one that used to turn me on to using witch hazel. And I used it even before I started making videos. Aqua Velva Classic Ice Blue, big restrictor. What I do is I take my index finger over the top and, you know, quick 1, 2. And that's plenty enough. If it's too strong for you, cut it with, do 1 and then a couple of drops of witch hazel. Oh, that's nice. No irritation even up here. Nice cooling menthol with this heat. Let me rinse my hands off. Now, since I'm here, and I did show this with the Gem Junior, the later Gem Junior, the Gem JR. This is the Gem spelled out Junior. What you do, undo your latch, take your blade. You see how there's all that gunk on there? This is carbon steel, remember. This is going to rust on you. So what you do is you rinse your blade off with as hot water as you can. Both sides. And then I take my drying towel. I shake the blade off away from myself so I don't cut myself. As you can see, this one's even starting to discolor a little bit already. That's why I'm thinking these are bad batches. And then I go like this, making sure not to cut into the towel and ruin the edge on the blade, just like you're stropping, and wipe the edges down. Yeah, I think this is a bad batch, guys. I'll show you here. One edge is already rusting. You can see the brown dots. That's not good. There are different carbon steel blades as well. There's the PALs that have a bluing, like with firearms, you know, a blued gun, you think? Blued steel. They have blades like that. They're PAL, they're carbon steel. Or just get the coated stainless and be done with it. If you can get the Persona ones, I'm going to get a hold of the Accutech blades and test them, you said. Now with a razor, I just rinse it out good. And you can get a residue from Williams. I've got a soft microfiber, and once this dries, I will wipe it down good. So, that's it for the Gem Juniors. If you can find any of them, this one shaves just as good as that one. That's more cosmetics, and it's got the nice scroll work where this just says Gem Junior, but they shave exactly the same. So I recommend any of them. For you advanced gem shaves out there, perfect addition to your shave den. Just don't overpay for them. I see them on eBay for ridiculous prices. Be patient. Check Etsy. Check all the different places. I got this one locally from the antique shop. And also watch out for cracked handles, because this one has it. There's the stropper attachment. It would go on the top for these kind of blades. This is a commercial, you know, a commercial blade. This isn't ever ready or whatnot, but it would go in there and you could strop it and keep them honed and all that kind of stuff. So that's it for the Lather Catcher Sunday shave. I will see you guys whenever with a head shave here. I am going to get out some other stuff. Now that I've tried the Gem JR on the head, I'm going to try some other ones, and we'll see how that goes. So, hope you guys have a great week. Hope all is well. I do appreciate you. I will see you whenever. Take care out there, and happy shaves.